have a job to do. You don't have to do it alone. At Ball Aerospace, we hear what you need, and we understand your challenges. Together, we make you stronger by bringing the best of who we are. Curious, humble, transparent, to provide end-to-end solutions for the challenges you face. From mission architectures and technology development, to operational systems, and finally, to ground solutions and data analysis. So you can go forward bravely and return home safely. With Ball Aerospace behind you and your team, you are stronger, providing the advantage you need to complete your mission. Together, we go beyond.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Suzanne Wilson Heckenberg, President of the Intelligence and National Security.
Good evening, and welcome to the 36th William Oliver Baker Award Dinner. Thank you all for joining us tonight to help Insa honor the Honorable Susan M. Gordon, former Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence. For her more than 3 decades of service to the United States intelligence and national security communities. We'll be sharing a lot more this evening about Sue throughout tonight's program. But before we proceed with our formal program, I want to say how much it means to me to be able to welcome each of you all here this evening. I am very grateful to be here on this stage versus Zoom in my closet at home. The past year and a half has taken a toll on our respective organizations, our teams, as well as many of our loved ones. But throughout this crisis, our community never lost sight of the mission. Colleagues stepped up to help each other. Innovative technologies were leveraged. Agencies collaborated and shared best practices. New workforce models were implemented, and together we advanced mission-critical priorities. And that we are able to gather tonight to celebrate a true IC innovator reflects the strength and resiliency of our community. And for that, we have much to be proud of. So without further ado, to kick off this evening, we are honored to have with us the multifaceted member of our community, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, multiple Grammy award-winning musician, and military hardware and weapons systems expert, the legendary Skunk Baxter, here to perform our national anthem. Now please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Joint Armed Forces Color Guard, Following the national anthem, please remain standing for the invocation. Skunk.
Okay.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Skunk. I know how important it was for you to be here to celebrate your friend Sue. We appreciate it, and we look forward to hearing from you a little more throughout this evening's program. Now, I would like to invite to the stage Colonel Rick Cantrell, Chaplain of the United States Army Intelligence and Security Command, to give the invocation.
That was beautiful. Let us pray. Gracious, loving God, we gather on this wonderful evening to participate in the National Security Alliance's 36th Annual William Oliver Baker Award Dinner. We recognize the Honorable Susan Gordon's 3 decades of extraordinary public service. Our nation is indebted to her for the significant contributions she has made on behalf of our national security. May you bless Sue and her family members for their sacrificial service. May you also bless our gathering and dinner tonight as we are reminded of the invaluable and unique mission of the United States intelligence and security community. It's in your name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. You all may be seated. Tonight's dinner has been many months in the making, made possible by the tremendous support of our membership, and I would also like to give a shout out to the Insa Board of Directors for believing in our being here this evening. So if I could get a big clap for the board. And also to the many organizations who sponsored this evening's event or purchased our presidential tables. Accenture, Auburn University, BAE Systems, Ball Aerospace, Battelle, Boeing, CACI, Data Robot, Leidos, Lockheed Martin, L3 Harris, Mantech, Microsoft, MITRE, Northrop Grumman, Parsons, Raytheon, and SAIC. Please join me in thanking these organizations that have made this evening possible. And thank you to the Omni staff for being so accommodating this evening. At your seats, you will find copies of the books Tell Me More and D-Day Girls, courtesy of our literary sponsor, Lockheed Martin. During our new IC program last summer, Sue mentioned she was reading Tell Me More. I immediately added it to my reading list. Our other title, D-Day Girls, tells the story of the heroic women recruited by Britain's elite spy agency, the SOE, to help pave the way for Allied victory in World War II. A book honoring strong, competent women thriving under pressure just seemed appropriate for this evening. We are also pleased to welcome members of the press this evening. As a reminder, this event is on the record and will be available for viewing next week. In addition, if you are tweeting, posting on Instagram, LinkedIn, please use hashtag InsaBaker. And it is now my pleasure to introduce the chairman of the board of Insa and Insa's foundation, Tish Long. Tish's accomplishments are many. Director of NGA, Deputy Director of DIA, Principal Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence, Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence, and added to that illustrious resume, this year marks Tish's 6th year as INSA's chairman. Please join me in welcoming Tish and thanking her for all she does for INSA and the community. Tish, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. I have to say, it is so great to see so many friends and colleagues here to honor Sue Gordon. Let me add my warm welcome to everyone here this evening, and my thanks also to all of the sponsors. And like Suzanne, it's so good to see everyone in person. We actually talked about doing this award dinner virtually, and Suzanne and I said, just wouldn't be the same. So thank you all for coming. I would like to acknowledge a former leader of INSA who is here with us tonight, the Honorable Ellen McCarthy, former Assistant Secretary of State for Intelligence and Research, and INSA President from 2009 to 2012. Ellen and her husband Gordon are here with us this evening. Thank you both for coming. Also, a special thanks to Principal Deputy DNI Stacy Dixon and DIA Director Lieutenant General Scotty Barrier, and all of our many, many government friends for being here this evening. Only naming two, they're at the head table. There are many, many more. Thank you all for being here. I would also now like to take a moment to recognize a leader who is not with us here tonight. Former U.S. Senator from the great state of Virginia and former Secretary of the Navy, John W. Warner, who passed away in May of this year. He was also a veteran of the Second World War and the Korean War. During his 30 years in the Senate, he served on the Senate Armed Services Committee, including 3 times as chairman, and was viewed as one of the most influential senators on military and foreign policy issues. Throughout his career, Senator Warner was an agent of change and a true leader to service in our nation. His commitment to finding a common ground with those from across the aisle and his dedication to the success of our nation continues to be a model for us all. And for anyone who ever testified in front of him, went on a CODEL with him, worked with him, you know what a great patriot Senator Warner was. He was a 2009 Baker Award honoree and Insa Achievement Award namesake, and we will proudly continue to honor his legacy. Please join me now in a moment of silence as we honor Senator Warner, as well as all of our IC colleagues and friends who we lost this past year. Thank you. To our honored guest, the Honorable Sue Gordon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your decades. I'm not going to say how many, just your decades of service, of public service, and for the leadership, vision, and dedication that were hallmarks of your career. We are just so pleased to have you and Jim here tonight, so pleased that you passed on a virtual award ceremony, and that you are here, and hopefully you are already enjoying this evening. And I will also have much more to say about Sue later in the program, but I would like to say a few words about our award's namesake. William Oliver Baker was that rare combination of scientist, strategist, executive administrator, mentor, and innovator. He joined Bell Labs as a newly minted PhD in 1939, and over the course of his 20-year career, he helped pioneer advancements that underpin modern-day signal communications. Dr. Baker once said of his Bell Lab days, "We succeeded in bridging the gap between the best sciences of the academy and the important applications that a modern society needed." And it is that bridging the gap between our nation's best scientific minds and R&D labs and our defense and security organizations, a partnership that he helped build that has only grown stronger since his passing. And that is his lasting legacy to us. His towering contributions to national security inspired Insa to create the William Oliver Baker Award to recognize his extraordinary work for their sustained contribution in intelligence and national security affairs. Now, I have the pleasure to welcome Adam Rudo, Executive Vice President and General Manager of the Intelligence Sector for Mantech, and member of the Insa Board of Directors, who will introduce the previous Baker Award recipients who are here with us tonight. Adam.
Thank you, and good evening. It is great to be here with all of you, especially in person, as others have said, to be part of this special occasion. For decades, the William Oliver Baker Award has recognized leading thinkers who've effected profound change on the intelligence and national security affairs of the United States. It is my pleasure to recognize the Baker Award recipients who are here with us tonight. As I read your names, please stand and be recognized. 2002 recipient, the Honorable Charlie Allen. 2007 recipient, Admiral Bobby Inman. 2012 recipient, the Honorable Art Money. and 2016 recipient, the Honorable John McLaughlin. Please join me in a warm round of applause for these extraordinary intelligence community leaders. We had one recent Baker honoree who was unable to attend tonight, but he did not want this auspicious occasion to go unmarked. In a letter, 2019 Baker recipient General Keith Alexander extends his congratulations to Sue and notes, "Your 3 decades plus of service in the Central Intelligence Agency, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and with the Office of the Director of National Intelligence were absolutely superb." He continues, "You are truly the type of leader that all in the intelligence and national security communities should aspire to be. It was an honor and privilege to serve with you." What a wonderful testament from General Alexander. And on behalf of Mantech, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Sue on this well-deserved honor. Now I am pleased to welcome back to the stage Insa President Suzanne Wilson Heckenberg.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you to Mantech for your support of tonight's program. As some of you may know, Insa's foundation launched a scholarship program. It has been a labor of love of mine, as well as many on the Insa team. After undergoing a crash course in how to set up a scholarship program, I was pleased to announce that we provided 4 scholarships, 2 to undergrads and 2 to master's students in the amount of $5,000 under the title, The Future of the IC Workforce Scholarship Program, this past May. We had an incredible response when we launched the scholarship program with close to 80 submissions. In the programs at your table, you will see that we spotlighted these 4 very worthy students. But tonight, I am pleased to welcome a very special guest to the stage. Trishi Malhotra, the first ever recipient of our Graduate Diversity Scholarship Award, is here. Trishi, please join me, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Good evening. It is a great pleasure to be with you all tonight. As Suzanne mentioned, my name is Trishi Malhotra, and I'm a graduate student at George Washington University pursuing a master's degree in Homeland Security. My interest in studying Homeland Security and intelligence stems from my early childhood days. Before moving to the U.S. at the age of 6, the majority of my family lived in Punjab, a small Indian state near the border of Pakistan. As some of you may know, a lot of my earliest memories include hostile Indo-Paki relations. For generations, families like mine have been on the forefront of cross-border terrorism, enduring a violent power game over natural resources and religious disputes. After moving to the U.S., I realized how imperative peace, safety, and security really are. As a little girl, I did not know that these experiences would one day ignite my interest to work and study in a field that meets the demands of arising international security challenges. I'm sincerely grateful for this opportunity from Insa, which is integral to my education and the pursuit of my professional aspirations. Thanks to the generous donors, this program will help me achieve 2 main goals. First, to serve the U.S. national security mission, and second, to provide visibility for underrepresented minority groups and empower gender equality within the intelligence community, so the next little girl from Southeast Asia can pursue her dreams, whatever they may be. Thank you.
Thank you, Trishi. And now I'm going to welcome Tish back to the stage.
I'd say musical chairs, but it's more like a musical stage. I just have to say, Trishi, wow, that was amazing. We absolutely picked the right recipient for one of our first scholarships. How about another round of applause? So, for anyone who is feeling half as inspired as I am, I hope you see that inspiration, we have an easy way for you to contribute to our scholarship fund. Simply text Baker 36 to 44321. It's up on both screens. Simply text Baker 36, this is the 36th presentation of the award, to 44321. We, collectively, and I specifically, would encourage you to donate in amounts that reflect the spirit of the 36th Baker dinner, whether it's $36, $360, $3,600, or dare I say $36,000. That is actually our goal for tonight's dinner. So start texting. The sky is the limit. I actually checked it out on how much you could donate. It's actually up to $100,000 monthly. Now, I'm not actually challenging anyone to do quite that. And it really is. Give what you can. Please, I hope you can see that this is certainly a worthwhile cause. And you just heard that these awards really do make a difference. This is about our future. It's our future workforce, which is about our future. So thank you for your support. I'll thank you in advance. And with that, it's time for dinner.
Please welcome to the stage Insa Executive Vice President John Doyen.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Hey, it's so great to see everyone here this evening, reacquainting themselves with people they may not have seen in some time, and also meeting some new friends. We have a lot more in store for you this evening. So if everybody, if I could have your attention here for just a second, we'll get started as the desserts are being delivered to your table. That's great. As the desserts are being delivered to your table, that's great. Thank you, Suzanne. And we'll get started with the second half of our program this evening. And I'll let you know that when I left home today, my daughter asked me where I was going, and I told her I was headed out for dinner and a movie. And she said, in a tuxedo? And I was like, well, it's not just any dinner, and then also it's not just any movie. And I'd like to let you know Insa has produced a video that showcases our honoree's storied career and her lasting legacy. It's a testament to Sue's leadership that so many past and present intelligence community leaders wanted to be part of tonight's program. So if you can maybe tone it down just a bit, we'll start the video. And so please direct your attention to the screens. Thank you.
The three words that best describe Sue Gordon to me are relentless, kindness, and human. Sue is at the heart human, and she is the most capable person I've ever met to engage other humans. And then secondly, Sue has a way of just finding the right touch to engage personally or professionally with anyone. But at the end of that list, there's that relentless, purposeful, meaningful quality that work great with the other two, because she's just created a new teammate. She's just created a new partner, a new advocate, and it leads to the outcome that Sue serves, which is the increased improvement of our national security.
The first one for me is leader. She is a leader, she is an inspiration, she is someone who has a natural ability for people to want to listen and engage and follow her. She's a mother, and she's very proud of her kids and her now grandchildren. She's a servant. Her service, her husband's service, her children's service to the nation in the military. She will be the first one to tell you that she is the daughter of a naval officer. She comes from a service-oriented family. She is a servant at heart.
I'll say when I first walked into what was Sue's office, it took me a while to just think about the fact that I was now occupying this office. This was now me. I was now someone's Sue. And a lot of times I would think about that because I could never listen to Sue Gordon talk without taking notes. She had a way with words and of just saying things that were really, really inspiring and that made you think about not only what you were, but what you were bringing to your mission.
She's a force of nature. She is unbelievable. There's no one like her that I've seen at CIA, male or female. She is just a powerful person who is a transformative individual. She's a game changer. She is innovative. She's done it all. She's all the way from analyst to program manager to acquisition to senior executive, which makes hard decisions.
She challenged agency leadership to really look at this community as a true community and not as a collection of agencies. And she pressed that in every engagement and really had looked beyond the fence lines of every agency to bring the community together in a real way.
It's easy in the intelligence business if you let it happen to be a skeptic, to be cynical even about things. Some of that just the nature of the business. You know, when I'm right, nobody remembers. When I'm wrong, nobody forgets, sort of thing. And I never saw one case in my interactions with Sue where she was ever not optimistic about something. That there is a way to solve a problem. There is a way to persuade people to do the right thing. And she was unfailingly consistent in all my dealings with her.
She is one of the most innovative and creative people that I know. In a large bureaucracy, those people can be beaten down, right? She never let that happen to her. Rather, she has this unique ability to be creative and innovative and think outside the box and still get things done.
Both she and her husband, Jim, went to this strange Gothic-looking school over in Durham, North Carolina, when they could actually, 9 miles away, go into a great university in a town called Chapel Hill. So,
what you really need to know is Sue's love of Duke basketball is real. She follows every game. She knows the stats. She would ask if I saw the game the morning after. Sometimes I was asleep and I didn't make it. She made her way down to the campus for as many games as she could, regardless of the schedule. She's true Blue Devil.
I really learned about her the first night when we played basketball together. So we were on the basketball court and we were on different teams, and she was playing center for her team, and they were in a zone defense, so she was underneath the basket, and I made the terrible mistake of trying to run through the lane to get open on the other side of the court, and she put an elbow into my side and knocked me on my butt. And that was my introduction to Sue Gordon.
Sue, this is Mike Krzyzewski from Duke Basketball, and congratulations on receiving the William Oliver Baker Award. Wow, what a career you have had. How well you have served our country. 29 years of service, 25 in the CIA, amazing service to our country. You're so deserving of this honor. And as a Dookie, I'm really proud of you and what you've done for our country. Congratulations. Such a well-earned and well-deserved honor. So,
it's impossible to think about Sue Gordon without thinking about Sue Gordon's family, because she brings it. And if you're in her office, you're surrounded by it, right? Because, that's who she is. And I believe, as proud as Sue is of her professional career, and well, she should be, I think she's got more pride in what she and Jim have been able to create with their family. And I think she's right.
I remember going back to that very first all hands. She talked about having to step away from her career to raise her children. And she thought that was a hugely important undertaking, and of course she was right. But I think Sue and others have worked very hard to try and change the workforce so that women don't have to make a choice like that. Sue came back to us, and after she had done a beautiful job of raising her family, and she went on to glorious heights. So I think the lesson in that for the bureaucracies is you don't want half of your workforce having to step away. We should enact reforms so that is not necessary. And of course, Sue has been a leader on that front for the women in the U.S. intelligence community.
She could and was all in. You never doubted whether or not, do you think we have all of Sue on this project? Never a question. And yet, she was able to do that and fully invest in and generate and develop a family that's now cascaded. If you think of her father's legacy, and now her and Jim's, and now her children, and now her grandchildren, it does the Gordon thing. It just ripples out, right? The kindness, the love, the hard work, the dedication, it just ripples throughout.
Sue is a natural selection for the Baker Award because of her commitment to the intelligence community, her commitment to the people of the intelligence community, and her desire to always bring her best and ensure that everyone else was also following those same footsteps, bringing their best to this mission, to the nation, so that we can help keep the country safe.
Sue has the 3 C's. I always use that when I speak about leadership. She has competence. Does she have competence? She has courage. Does she have courage? As I said earlier, she had to make some hard calls that dealt with very sensitive matters and the lives of Americans. And 3, she has character. She has great integrity. No one ever questions her sincerity and her ability to do what's good for the agency, what's good for the community, and what's good for the country.
Sue Gordon absolutely embodies all that the Baker Award represents. She is a scholar, she's a scientist, she's an inventor, and she's a statesman, a stateswoman.
I believe her strongest quality is how she makes others better. And so Sue's got tons of accomplishments. I mean, in pages and pages of, what did Sue do? But I consider her legacy how she's helped other people be better in all the things that they got done.
She has that tremendous sense and ways of bringing out the best in people, getting people well motivated. She's a motivational person.
I think Sue has so much to be proud of from her career. And Sue has a storied career at CIA. She played a critical role in the stand-up of In-Q-Tel. She played a critical role on the cybersecurity front. She was director of support, which is one of our most demanding jobs. And yet she had done so much more in the science and technology arena. And that's kind of what makes Sue stand out, the broad range of her experience. But I would say most of all what Sue should be most proud about is that she's a great human being, and that's what we all love about her.
Sue probably doesn't know this, but she had a significant impact on me. She made me a much better intelligence officer because she was so good, right? And I wanted to be as good as she was. And so she made me a better deputy director because she made me think about things that nobody else did.
I think it's going to be how she treated people and how she made people feel. She treated people the way that she would want to be treated, as individuals who all had talents and skills and something to bring to the table every day, something to bring to their mission every day. She encouraged you to be your best and to bring your best, and she exemplified that every day in the way that she interacted with the workforce. So she was inspiring to many of us who, even though I am actually in the role that she had, I still feel like I have a ways to grow to be like Sue Gordon. And I try every day to try to bring my best and do the best that I can. And I think about her and the role, what she did for the agency. And I try and I hope that after I'm done being deputy director, that people will look back at me and say, she was one of the best as well, just like Sue.
The intelligence community is better because of not just the fact that she served, but I think more importantly, the way she served.
What a terrific tribute. Sue asked me earlier in the evening if I had seen the video, and I said, of course I have. And she said, was it any good? I said, Sue, come on, it's about you. Of course, it's fabulous. But kudos to the Insa team, the videographers Brian Watkins and Nelson Flores, and all of Sue's former colleagues for contributing to the video. And what a great way to start this award ceremony. Now, for the reason that we are all gathered here tonight, the presentation of the William Oliver Baker Award Medal of Achievement. Sue, this incredible turnout tonight reflects the deep appreciation felt across all segments of our community for your couple of decades of service, your many decades of dedicated service to our nation. And as we just heard, while your job titles and responsibilities changed, your inherent leadership traits, innovation, ingenuity, and indelible spirit remained constant throughout. Now, before I get into the details of Sue's career, I want to recognize Sue's husband. Jim is an accomplished intelligence officer in his own right. Jim, thank you for your dedicated service to our country. And thank you for supporting Sue all of these years so that she could do what she did. To include when, and some of you may know this, I am sure many of you do not, when Sue became the PDD&I, there was this little ruling that occurred, and Jim actually had to retire so that there was not even an appearance of a conflict of interest. So Jim, thank you for doing what you do with grace. He's a great poker player, too. I do know, great poker player. So, no video, sorry, Jim. Oh, you were in the last one. Okay. All right. So, Jim, thank you. Sue's career has been marked by many milestone moments, including serving as the 5th Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, where she focused, as we heard, on intelligence integration across the community, expanding outreach and partnerships, as well as driving innovation. As Deputy Director of the agency, that would be NGA, Sue brought about transformational change, including modernization of the information environment and the expansion of geospatial intelligence services to the open marketplace. During her 27 years of extraordinary service at CIA, she held senior executive positions in each of the agency's 4 directorates. You know, I've never asked if that's, kind of a record. I'm sure it was. I first met Sue in 1998 when she designed and drove the formation of In-Q-Tel. And as many know, In-Q-Tel's primary purpose is to deliver innovative technology solutions to the CIA and the broader intelligence community. In-Q-Tel has, without question, forged stronger bonds between industry and the IC, and it has advanced the IC's technological capabilities immensely. Sue, I knew when I met you that you were destined for big things. I just didn't know how big. So, well done. Sue has received many honors for her extraordinary service, including the Presidential Rank Award at the distinguished level. And I will tell you, it's kind of like less than 0.5% of executives across all of government that received that award. So, again, well done, Sue. Most importantly, Sue lives by her values. She has always treated people with dignity and respect. She has always challenged her teams and provided opportunities for them to grow, and succeeded in pushing the boundaries of the possible. Now, if we had been able to hold this celebration last year when it was first scheduled, I would at this point be turning the podium over to the Honorable Stephanie O'Sullivan for her to say a few words. Unfortunately, Stephanie could not join us this year, but I do have her remarks, and I would like to read a portion of them now. So this is Stephanie. Sue stepped forward during a very difficult time for this community, the transition to the Trump administration, and Sue agreed to serve. Thinking back to that turbulent and uncertain time, many senior officers were retiring, resigning, or they were concerned about what a new administration, one widely reported to be deeply skeptical of the intelligence community, would mean for all of us. The wider IC workforce was also concerned, but they in general did not have the option to step down. When asked, Sue stepped up. She did so with those officers in the wider workforce in mind. She did so because she believed in them and their ability to excel, to continue providing the straightforward, unbiased, truth-to-power voice of the intelligence community. She did so because someone had to. And because she has never, not once, turned away from taking on a hard task or duty asked of her. Sue, I'm not sure you're actually capable of saying no, of turning away from a hard task. I know you can say no, but turning away from a hard task. And that is a trait of Sue's. However much is asked of the IC, however much she believed in and asked the IC officers to deliver, she demanded even more of herself. As an intelligence officer, as a mother, a daughter, wife, and friend, she relentlessly spends herself. Through adversity, crisis, and challenges, Sue will keep her oath and keep trying. She will keep believing we can all be better than we think we can be, that we can surmount our challenges as people, as intelligence officers, and as a wider community. And she will not count the cost to herself or the risk to herself as she does so. Sue will fight on until she comes to believe that the best thing she can do for the people or community she loves is to sacrifice her own career, her own dreams, her own ambitions. We heard during the video tribute, in mid-career as a fast-rising SIS officer, Sue gave up that fast track to focus on her family. As PDD&I, She resigned from service when it became evident the president was not offering another choice. And she will still answer every request she possibly can to speak to defend, and represent this community. In short, it is more than fitting that tonight we recognize someone who spent her career relentlessly believing in and fighting for all of us. I just have to say, well said, Stephanie. Sue, on behalf of Insa, thank you. Thank you for all you have done in support of our nation's security and our national security mission. From fostering a talented, diverse workforce, to advancing public-private partnerships, to speaking truth to power, our community is all the better due to your selfless service and your generous spirit. Sue, if you could join me on stage, please.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. Oh, well, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. I can be, can't you see, center field. I can be, can't you see, in the IC.
Everyone can please take your seats. Continuing a Baker dinner tradition, an Insa intern will now read the formal award citation. Actually, I might ask you to stand again because we are going to read a formal award citation. The voice you will hear is that of Harry Brooks, who will graduate next May from the School of International Service at American University with a master's degree in International Affairs and Global Security. Will everyone please rise?
To all who shall see these presents, greeting. With highest esteem and profound admiration, the Intelligence and National Security Alliance is proud to recognize the Honorable Susan M. Gordon as the 36th recipient of the William Oliver Baker Medal of Achievement in recognition of her remarkable accomplishments, transformative leadership, and unwavering commitment to the nation and the men and women of the intelligence and national security community. In more than 3 decades of extraordinary service with the Central Intelligence Agency and National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and finally as a Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, she led large-scale change, delivered revolutionary mission outcomes, and fostered a diverse, inclusive environment. As Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, Ms. Gordon advanced intelligence integration, expanded outreach and partnership, inspired a culture of innovation, and challenged agencies to work together to meet the demands of an ever-changing threat landscape. As Deputy Director of NGA, she spearheaded agile decision-making, modernized the information environment, and expanded geospatial intelligence services to the open marketplace. During her tenure at the CIA, Ms. Gordon held leadership positions in each of the agency's then 4 directorates, designed and led the establishment of In-Q-Tel, the agency's venture arm, and served as the first senior advisor to the director on cyber. Throughout her storied career, Ms. Gordon demonstrated a love of country and passion for service, championed both the craft of intelligence and those who practice it, and was a tireless mentor and ally. Her indomitable spirit, vision, dedication, and legacy of service will serve as an inspiration for generations to come. Ms. Gordon, a selfless public servant of the utmost intellect, professionalism, and humility, is richly deserving of this highest tribute in recognition of her lifetime of distinguished service to our nation. given by my hand this day of September 25th, 2021 in Washington, D.C. Letitia A. Long, Chairman.
Oh. You know, Skunk, wow. Isn't it awesome to be together? This is, I'm at a loss. To Skunk, thank you. You know, I recorded you again playing the national anthem. There's nothing that inspires me more. Thanks for the walk-on song to you all. All I ever wanted was to be put in the game. That's all I ever wanted. To my friend and mentor and idol, Stephanie O'Sullivan, those are ridiculously generous remarks. She could have simply said Sue loved her work. She tried really hard. She was smart enough to enlist a lot of help along the way and mostly just believed. Tish, thank you. And to Insa for the recognition. It humbles and inspires me. I'm humbled now to be in the company of the greats of our community, who I've worked with, worked for, benefited from, and aspired to be. Young Charlie Allen. Holy smokes, Bobby Inman. My name with your name? That's ridiculous. You know, I confess when I now look at the list of Baker awardees that includes my name, I can't help but thinking in the words of Sesame Street, one of these things is not like the others. But out of respect for your collective wisdom, it's too late now, I'm keeping the award. But in return, I am inspired anew to continue our collective quest to keep America safe. She needs us now, as surely as she did in 1947, even as this moment will demand more of us. I know we can give it. Thank you to my government colleagues for supporting me every single day and for continuing to serve your turn. Stacy Dixon, you need not worry. You are every bit and more. I can see the future now. You will have done everything that was needed of you and more. And though I spent the bulk of my career at my CIA, I will tell you that my heart belongs to the women and men of the NGA and the ODNI. You accepted this expat as your own and you stole my heart. I know who you are. I know what you do, and even when the nation doesn't say it out loud, she is grateful for all of your service. Thank you to my new teammates at CACI and Avantis and Microsoft. Thank you for taking a chance on me, for teaching me the other side of our work, and to every teammate in this room, I say it every time I get a chance. There is no achievement of which I know and of which I've gotten to be a part that doesn't include you. Each of you has made something magical happen over the course of our shared history. And Jimmy, thank you to you. You are indeed the best Gordon. You're a saint, everyone knows it. But more, you have always wanted for me everything I want for myself. You're just the best. Now, I want to end right there. Simply grateful for a career that I had no right to expect, but that fulfilled me every day. Grateful for the humans who taught me so much and showed me so much grace along the way, and grateful for the new adventures I get to have. But we have a couple of minutes. So I thought I'd do 3 things. Yes, Deirdre, it's always 3 things with me. With the rest of my time with you. I'll do a little bit of reflection on my journey, mostly because it should be hopeful in the fact there was nothing preordained about it. Anyone who hears this should say, that is available to me, because there just wasn't much more than someone who tried pretty hard. I'm going to share with you my view of this moment, because we're at one of those inflection points where I think intelligence and national security has the opportunity to be the hero of the day. And gosh, we need one of those. And I'm going to make a couple asks of you. Maybe it's because I didn't get a chance to complete my job jar, or maybe because we need it, or maybe because I believe in you. But I'm going to end by asking some things of you. The other day I was asked this question: what would the 21-year-old version of myself think about where I've ended up 40 years after I began my journey? And I think she would have said, no way. And will I be standing 40 years from now? 21-year-olds have a different view of age. But I will tell you, I had a pretty inauspicious start. I had a bachelor's degree, even though it was from Duke, and kind of that counts for everything, Charlie. I had a bachelor's degree in zoology. I wasn't particularly focused or ambitious. In fact, this was a job I took while I figured out what I really wanted to do, whether I wanted to go get my PhD or go to law school. And I never even got to do the job that I was hired to do. I was hired to do the job of a Soviet biological warfare analyst. See, that Zo major all makes sense now, doesn't it? But it was the late 1970s, and it was in an economic downturn, and by the time this 21-year-old walked in the door with a shiny new security clearance, yes, it took 11 months back then, too. The job was gone, and I had to find new work. My first performance appraisal was special. It was on a scale of 1 to 7, and because the CIA is noted for being excellent at every position, mine was straight 4s. Wait. And the narrative was, with help, she might turn into a decent intelligence officer one day. And yet, for all that beginning, here's what I got to do over the course of the years. I got to work with Sally Ride. I got to brief President Reagan. I got to find bugs in a new embassy being built in Moscow. I got to build a subsystem for a first ever and one-of-a-kind spacecraft. I got to help design an in-place sensor that did its work real time for the first time ever. And I don't know if any of my Northrop Grumman friends are here, but I did that with the great Jim Krieger, who we just lost. But man, that was a good day for a GS-10. I got to start a new office. I got to imagine a nonprofit company that would help us get access to Silicon Valley. I got to think about cyber differently. I got the awful honor of bringing patriots home for the last time on the tarmac of Dover. I got to be a part of NGA when we were figuring out that we needed to succeed in the open, and I got to keep the NRO from being subsumed into the Space Force. And let me tell you what I brought to the table to get to be able to do all that. I was pretty hardworking. I was curious. I learned from everyone, and gosh, did I have people to learn from. A guy named Dana Sutherland, who was a GS8 when I was a GS7. He came from INPIC. He was so smart and so accomplished, and I wanted to be just like him. And for my whole career, I aspired to be as good as Dana was. Now, you may not have heard of Dana, and Dana didn't even ascend to be a senior intelligence officer, but he was who I wanted to be. I got to learn from a young Art Money, from a brash Dana Dalton, from an irascible Bob Ford, from the indomitable Sandra Cruzman, from the very scary and very brilliant Leo Hazelwood, from Ruth David, from Joe Isham, from Norm Augustine, from Michael Crow, from Gilman Louis, from Michael Morrell, from Stephanie O'Sullivan, Robert Cardillo, Deirdre Wash, Katrina Lewis, Paul Sutherland, and on and on. I could go around every table and name each one of you because I learned from each of you, and that's what I brought. I said a lot, yes a lot, when I was asked to do things. I did my best. I never protected myself. I relied on my people, and here's a tip for you all. I'm viewed as a risk taker. Do you know why I can take risks? Because I knew that no matter how far I aimed, my women and men would never let me down. Never let us down. See, that's what we have to do. We have to drive. They will come because they know how. In 2013, Ginny Rometty of IBM was having dinner with the DCIA, and for some reason, my career came up. I got to join the dinner. I think I was decoration in the room, but my career, I am good looking, but the topic of my career came up, and Jenny said, "How does someone like you succeed?" Now, hold on. That could sound like a damning comment, but you know, I took it differently. And what I think is it's a comment about our community. See, we're people that believe in performance more than pedigree. And if you can play, you can play. Don't forget that that spirit created the opportunity for this girl to do those silly things that they said on the video. I pray we stay that way. Because if we do, there will be an infinite supply of youngsters who become exactly what we need. And if we close our eyes, we can see some of them whose faces we don't yet know, winning Baker Awards for things we can't yet imagine because we allowed them, through our belief, to become what we need. So my story isn't interesting except in the fact that it worked out because you all were big enough to allow it. Don't forget. Now, these are remarkable times. I cannot let this moment pass without talking about how important I think it is that we recognize where we are and work to become the hero of the story that we need. We have done this before. It's time to pivot to new threats and new conditions. This is a digital world. It's a world of ubiquitous technology and digital connectedness and data abundance. It's a world where there's a rise of economic factors that are more dominant in some cases than political, military. We still have hardy perennials who threaten us: China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. They're all over the place, and we have new national security threats. Climate, pandemic, social unrest, human migration, economic uncertainty. I meant to, in my tenure, address each one of these but my time was cut short. So they are still in the job jar for you to do. So if you really want to honor me tonight, here's what I want you to take on. Imagine our work anew from collection to analysis. Put yourself not dragging 47 forward, but starting in 2021, and what would we build now to provide clarity, wisdom, and insight that the nation needs? Be masters of the digital realm. Hustle to this. It is scary, but our craft needs to be digitized. Quit dithering on open source, for goodness sakes, and embrace it. It's just data. It's just data. And yes, I know that we're not certain because we haven't curated, but we have spent a lifetime figuring out how to deal with uncertain information with certainty. Let's just get on with it. Y'all, policies aren't sacrosanct. Don't let them stop the right thing from happening just because the wrong thing might. Find new policies that allow what we need. And this is not a limitation between the government and the private sector. This is all of us have ways that we prefer, and it's keeping us from doing the things that we need. Find a new way forward. Get on with partnering across sectors, across agencies, across nations. We need each other, but it won't work if we expect each other to fit in to what we already have. And for goodness sakes, let's modernize our processes. One of my favorite jobs ever was Director of Support of the agency, and what I learned at the Central Intelligence Agency. Tish, I'm sorry, those are, whoops. But I'm the Baker awardee, so, forgive me. Anyway, but really and truly modernize our processes. They're killing us. They're keeping us from taking the good ideas and the new capabilities and the approaches we might have, and they're slowing us down. And this is not a world where we can be slow. So those are the things I think we need to do. Here are how I would like us to be. These are my real asks. And this is for all of you. Could you remember how big we are? Do you remember what we've done? Built the U2 in 11 months, Inkitel in 7, put really huge things up in space to hear really small size. That's who we are. Be big, be audacious. Not big in size, not adding numbers, adding aim. We can do it. Private sector, government, individuals, be big. That's who we are. That's our heritage. There is no percentage in being small. Plus, it's way more fun to just vex people. Be inclusive. The intelligence and national security tent is really, really big. Please don't make it small by leaving anyone out. I have 2 stories that I need to tell of my journey. One is on a day in 2007 when someone came into my office at the CIA and said, "Sue, can I talk to you for a minute?" And I said, "You bet." And they said, "Let me close the door." Said, "We'd like you to become the senior champion for ANGLE, the CIA's LGBTQ employee research group." She said, "Now I can understand if this is just too much of a risk for you and you can turn it down." And I said, "What?" "Yes. I have no idea if I gave anything to the LGBT community. I don't. I do know that they transformed me." Every single person that we engage is amazing. Don't be narrow in what you ask of them. Don't be narrow in who you ask. Twice in my career, I was asked to form a special team, once for Inkitel, once for John Brennan, to figure out cyber for the agency. And I said, great, I'll take on the task once I understand it, but will you give me these 5 special people? And in both cases, I was told, no, sorry, we can't spare them. Form your own team. And I formed a team of people who were available, people who were willing to work for me, people who just thought it was cool. They were amazing. Look what we did. I didn't handpick anything. I took the people that were available. It reminds me, do not be narrow about who you think can do jobs. Everyone we hire, there isn't a single person we hire that can't deliver. Imagine if we fully engaged everyone with whom we work. If all of them were in play for every job we need, can you imagine what we could do? Please be inclusive. Please. And finally, even though we're all on the same team, we're not any one of our disciplines. We're national security and intelligence. We do each have a role to play. Everyone has to hold their space. Everyone has to play their role fearlessly. You have got to do your job as hard as you can, as honestly you can, and it's the crashing together of all our jobs that makes really amazing things happen. If you become afraid, if you don't want to be shown as not enough, if you pull back and you don't do the whole of what you are able to do, because you're afraid that a program manager is going to make you get mad at you if you tell them that something could be done differently, you will waste it. Be fearless in applying your work and we'll be okay. So that's it. This is an amazing community that has delivered for the nation time and time again. I cannot believe my good fortune. We have big challenges, but we have better opportunities. Remember who you are and why we're here, and we will be celebrating together for years to come. I always leave on a quotation. My favorite one right now is from an author and poet, L.R. Nost, who says, "Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go. A broken world waits in the darkness for the light that is you." I'm honored beyond measure. I can't believe that I get to be in your company. Let's go make something good happen. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Robbie Manion, Associate Director for Raytheon Technologies Intelligence Customer Engagement, for the celebratory toast.
Robbie, you better get up here quick or I'm going to start crying. Come on up here with me.
Hold that.
Yes, sir. I always did what you said.
Sincere honor to be here with all of you tonight. On behalf of Raytheon, I'd like to thank Insa for another terrific Baker Award dinner and for the opportunity to celebrate our guest of honor, the Honorable Sue Gordon. Raytheon Intelligence Space specializes in innovation, developing advanced sensors, training, and cyber solutions to the defense and intelligence communities. As we've already heard so eloquently tonight, Sue is one of our community's most brilliant innovators. Her tenure at CIA, NGA, and OD&I will leave a lasting historical legacy for all of us and for the workforce of the future. Sue Gordon's visionary leadership, innovative spirit, commitment to the workforce, and above all else, love for our beloved country embodies the example of William Oliver Baker set for all of us. It is fitting that we honor her tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in raising a glass as we toast the Honorable Susan M. Gordon. Cheers.
Let me close. So this concludes our formal program. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here in person to celebrate Sue. The unsanctioned after party is in the bar to your left up the stairs. Cheers.
She